What a friend we have in Jesus. All our sins and griefs to bear.
Well known globally as a preacher of the word, a good time manager, a mentor and great steward of God's resources, Archbishop Emeritus Dr. Henry Luke Orombi served as Bishop of Nebi Diocese from 1993 to 2003, and as Archbishop of the Church of Uganda and Bishop of Kampala from 2004 until his retirement in December 2012, 2 years earlier than expected.
May God make you live long, so that you see the goodness of God in the land of the living.
We had the privilege to interact with the man of God, and he started by pointing out a number of achievements, including a very big role on completion of the church house building, drawing back those who had turned to different religions, among others.
In 9 years I worked as an archbishop. I have seen how God can use a person to do things that he wants that person to do. One, the Lord helped me to draw back our young people from our mainline church where they went to Pentecostal churches, they came back. Two, I saw the church house started and built. Three, I saw conflicts in this country which was on succession in Mohabura, in North Valley, in West Nile, in Masindi, settled by God during my tenure. And then four, I saw pride in our church. Financially, people began to understand the church needs money. They gave money, and I saw by the time I was leaving, the church in our province was standing on its feet.
Among the legacies he is proud of is having church house completed, but also a stable Anglican church that is continuing to shine through the years and now under Archbishop Kazimba Mugalu.
I think the Anglicans should say that themselves. Within the 9 years, their church house is now standing in Kampala Street. Within the 9 years, Anglican Church is still reckoned like a force in this country, especially now under Archbishop Stephen Kazimba Mugalu. The Church of Uganda is still standing firm and very strong. And then thirdly, I want to thank God that many of my bishops understand you cannot do without young people in the church. And I am so happy because the young people know I am the bishop for the young people.
However, it was all not a smooth run for Dr. Orombi as he encountered some challenges such as getting a new bishop in Mohabura Diocese. This, he notes, had taken 5 years of conflict, but thankfully the man of God managed to resolve this in 2 years through preaching the gospel.
The first challenge on my desk when I came was Mohabura Diocese fighting for 5 years to get a bishop. Within 2 years, they settled down, they got a bishop, and the reason was simple. I preached the gospel. I went out there to help them understand the bishop is not the head of the diocese. Christ is the head of the diocese. And coming from a revival background, they understood. They were able to reconcile, they were able to go back, they were able to understand, let's give back the church to the owner who is the head, and that is Christ.
When asked how his faith influenced his leadership style, Dr. Orombi attributed following Jesus Christ's way of leadership as an inspiration.
The leadership style that is very clearly portrayed for us, it is in the Bible. If you look at how Jesus conducted himself and how he discipled and how he commissioned before he went back, if ever you are going to be a leader, copy his style of leadership. He was a team builder. He was a humble, serving servant who stooped so low. He was a loving person. He called his disciples friends. He said, I no longer call you servant, I call you friends, because all that the Father commanded me, I shared with you. And then finally, he was a leader who entrusted his disciples the mission, and he went back to heaven. That one, I think, is a big example to follow.
Bishop Orombi has so far spent 12 years in retirement, and during this interview, he gave tactics to those planning to retire, majorly urging them to complete their leadership journey well.
If you are going to retire, please retire happily. And this is how you retire happily. Finish well. Oh, yeah. If you finish well, your retirement is going to follow well as well. And then secondly, when you retire, activate your gifts. Use them. Don't go and resign in life and put your legs up and wait to die. That is going to be a loss to the country and the church. I'm retired, and therefore retirement is enjoyable. And number two, where they ask me to help, I go and help.
Right Reverend Dr. Henry Luke Orombi's tenure as Archbishop was marked by reconciliation within conflicted dioceses, infrastructure development at the provincial offices in Namirembe, launching a decade of mission, streamlining provincial operations, a serious engagement with the youth around the country, campaigns to eliminate child and human sacrifice, and the construction of the church house building. Luke Majumba Linaitwe for Church of Uganda Family TV, News at 8.